Good morning. Seems like my voice is still hoarse. Don't know when it's gonna get better. But again, it's no exercise. And what I discovered yesterday, which was a fairly unpleasant surprise, was that my left arm has lost a considerable amount of power in it. I have a kettlebell at home, and I was doing curls because I felt it was weak when I was left in the grocery bag, so I thought I'd give it a go. But I think I did 4 sets, and what do you call it? My right arm could easily do what the left did and over without even breaking a considerable sweat, whereas the left arm, it was an absolute struggle to get a set done. I'm embarrassed to say how small the weight was, but it was a women's kettlebell. I think it was 8 kilos or something like that. And it's not good. Today I'm taking the Beamer to be serviced. The Volvo, as I suspected on one of these videos, it had this sound coming from the front end, and in its katsastus, whatever it's called, they just mentioned that they need to be changed. They pose some kind of a risk, and the joy of having 2 cars, or a high consuming car like the Volvo. It drinks about 13 liters on 100 meters. Now look at that, all the street lights are on, and they're talking about saving, and the sun is up there and the street lights are on. What these sense in this? Nothing, say I. But anyway, the Volvo, it had all its front end bearings switched, and it cost €730 or something like that. Unpleasantly expensive. So now I'm taking the Beamer to the same place to be looked at. And let's see. I'll record a small bit from the Volvo. You'll hear that it's nice and quiet. Now that it's been fixed. 3 minutes until we have a stand-up, and I've taken a habit that if it's a sunny day, I'll come and have a cup of green tea, which Well, it isn't coffee. I've taken a habit of drinking that and enjoying the sun here. As you see, my voice is still, well, it's bad. Hasn't been relieved of all the speaking. But what I can see from here is our old house. Some of you might remember that red house. We moved into it when it was brand new. With Terhi, me and Rebecca. And then the view from our, what do you call it, restroom across the hall was ABB, Electric Machine Company. I've got 1 minute to go to my stand-up meeting. I've been looking into CCSVI treatment. It's a balloon put into your veins that come from your brain and they blow them up. I think Rob had this done once, but on a different part of his veins. It's looking interesting, but you can see that some of the messages you get there clearly money motivated, slamming it just outright. This is bad. Don't take it. We want to sell you drugs for millions. Don't do anything that could heal you or make you feel better. To make a short clip about this one, but as you can hear, the Volvo is pretty much silent now. All the lagging sound from the wheels have been fixed. Notice today when I program a bit longer, my left hand gets numb, which is less than ideal. But if I pace myself, I can work. So, today, no, that's not working. Today I learned that the Swedish project will not continue after midsummer. So it's this week and the next, and then while work in Sweden has been completed. It has been a fun project in, what do you call it, learning that it comes to an end. You know, you're a consultant and you pretty much know that that's what happens, that projects come to an end. But I'm surprised how'd I say, I don't know, gutted is a bit strong of a word, but it's been part of my life for quite a long time, and then I was thinking about an example that military gives, the Finnish military, is that you rarely remember the things that have been very pleasant and nice in your life, but the things where you've really been put to the test, which I think this past 2 years have been. They've been a very testing time for me. Given that I discovered my illness while working here, and then the moving and doing stuff, it kind of was a pronounced indication that something was wrong. So, yeah,
yeah, back to the military. That's what you remember is when you pushed through something very difficult or even semi-difficult. I would consider this illness something that is in the category of extremely difficult, maybe in my life. Maybe it goes to tell that my problems aren't that big, but still, it has had an effect. And but yeah, travel shall cease in business-wise. We do have a trip coming in July, coming to Sweden, the 17th of July. We leave from Helsinki and we drive up to Oulu, and then we come back south, the coast of Sweden. So that's something that has been planned. But yeah, it is weird. It's but feelings like this let you know that you're alive, and this is what life is. I'm getting all philosophical. So this is a standard Scandic Forester room. As you can see, it's fairly outdated. Beds are always nice and clean. But the major problem this time for me is that I got the room that is facing south, and it looks into a parking lot, whereas if you get the room that points to north, it's on the seaside and you get beautiful views. So, a bit of a bummer. Made brief remarks of the view from the hotel. I've got the parking lot, the other side has this. So you can imagine why I'm slightly miffed. And I have a nice terrace for the restaurant. I'm having dinner outside, so that's good. Went to the Foresta gym, which is typical Scandic gym. There's a treadmill, a cycle, and then there's a cross trainer. I did half an hour of cross trainer, but as a positive thing, I must report that now only last couple of minutes did my left leg start to kind of quiver, whereas previously this has occurred after 10 minutes or so when I first started it. So cycling and doing cross trainer and maybe small amount of gym. I actually did leg presses at the Sjöfartshotellets gym. So yeah, very, very positive. And this is the first time I did anything exercise-wise after my, illness. A good rule of thumb for me is if you have something on your mind, which this ending of this project is, then do something physical and you'll get your mind off it. Just to finish off today's video, it has been a nice day. I've been looking at CC, or the vein thing, quite a bit today, and looking at the testimonials and stuff like that. The one negative thing that I've found is that the effects of the treatment may not last that long. So I'm coming to the view that a low fat diet, and then maybe I'll have a chat with my neurologist. I think I have a visit with him next week, and I'll talk with, no, 2 weeks from now, I'll talk with him whether they would somehow be willing to go with this treatment. But I feel this bubbling inside me that I might say something a bit, how do I say, controversial to the guy, especially looking at Western medicine that is in the pocket of drug companies. And there was a Danish doctor. I looked at a documentary that it's absolutely horrible, the amount of doctors that are taking money from these drug companies and actually pushing stuff that makes people even more ill and kills them. And it is not good. But regardless of greedy doctors and immoral drug companies, Jesus is king.
Once upon a time